what is going on, guys? This video I've meant to do for a period of time, but this makes more sense now that I have the Total Gym kind of set up in its own dedicated space. And what I mean by that is I got the home gym or the garage gym pretty much fully assembled in different stations that I kind of, at least for right now, kind of suit me. If you guys want a video on kind of how I'm using different stations and what I'm using, or just like a basic 2024 gym tour, happy to do that. I just can't put any more room in here. And I think one of the issues with a Total Gym, I've said this in previous videos, is that if you got a Total Gym, let's say you got like a functional trainer or other stuff in there, unless the Total Gym's set up in its dedicated space, there's a good chance you're probably not gonna use it and maximize it. So I wanna really talk about in this video, whether you have other equipment or not, is just kind of sharing with you my key exercises that I think really are the best in class on a Total Gym or sliding bench trainer. Now this is a little bit different to previous videos where maybe I highlight 8, 5, or like 3 exercises that are like kind of all you need or bare minimum or most effective exercises on this equipment. Again, this is all totally my personal opinion and my own experience on here. So you guys certainly comment down below what you guys see fit. But if you're maybe you don't have a Total Gym, maybe you have one and you want to say, okay, what really, if I got all this other equipment like I do right here, where does this machine really shine? And maybe if you're considering picking one up, is it worth picking one up for some of these key exercises? Of course, though, you can do tons of stuff with this equipment. And I'll just say, kind of as an aside, I think I get the most out of a Total Gym if I'm just using it kind of as a standalone workout in a circuit type, kind of stringing exercises along back to back type of fashion. That's where I kind of like to do it. But now that I got this space here, I'm gonna leave the Total Gym more or less right here. And believe it or not, like I think I alluded to in the previous video and some of you guys were asking, I can still use, I've got a lot of garage gym space. I can still use this garage as a functional gym. Within 5 minutes, I should probably make like a time-lapse video. I could show you this. I can break this stuff down. I actually still got a little bit of room I haven't maximized yet with junk. I can still pull a car in here. So I still love that about a Total Gym. My Speedients, obviously the benches, and even the rogue bike, everything, you can kind of wheel against the wall and get out of the way and still make it for a functional garage. So I just want to kind of say that too. It's also a very cool attribute of a Total Gym. But sorry for that long intro here. Jumping into it, I'm gonna say again, these are the best in class exercises that I think make a Total Gym really shine. These are in no particular order, but I will start out with one I think, which is probably one of the most, probably maybe if not the best exercise on a Total Gym in its kind of best in class category. And I'm gonna talk about you can call it a pullover, pull down, however you wanna describe it. Basically an exercise like this, and on a Total Gym you can do it a few different ways. Sometimes I'll be seated here, sometimes I'm up like this, but basically an exercise where you're starting here and ending here, okay? And I'll show you a couple other variations here on the back, and then maybe I'll talk a little bit about benefits of one versus another, but basically starting here and ending here, which is basically you're going into shoulder extension. And so some primary muscles you guys are working when you're doing this, I would say first and foremost, primarily, it's definitely a more of a lat exercise. You're working some smaller muscles in your back, like teres major, teres minor. Up in here, you guys can Google search that if you guys want to, but I would say primarily it's really a lat exercise. A little bit of the long head of the tricep, some serratus anterior up here. You can argue too, this is somewhat a debatable thing, not necessarily a debate, but you work a little bit of your pecs doing a basic pullover. I would say it's definitely more of a back exercise and a chest exercise, but your pecs are involved a little bit, especially I'd say more so on a Total Gym if you're face up than face down. Now, some of the benefits of the pullover, and I should just say in general on this thing, is that if you're, let's say, doing a dumbbell pullover, start to finish, you lose out a lot of that tension when you're, say, on your back. One, you got a lot of tension here working against gravity. I'll just demonstrate it like this. If you're working against gravity here, I got a lot of tension here. Let's pretend I'm on a bench, but a flat bench. But I start to kind of lose that engagement here. And of course, if I keep going, there's really nothing there. So on a Total Gym, you could say definitely Speedients or a cable machine. I'm saying Speedients because it's in my head, like the eGym thing. But if you're starting here with the cable machine, another great exercise, I'm bent over and pulling like this. You're constantly working your lats through that shoulder extension range of motion. And so with the Total Gym, I think you do that even a greater degree based on the nature of how you're kind of aligned with the variable incline here on the machine. So really quick too, we'll spend more time on this one because I think this is really the best one. If I'm on my back, one of the advantages is that my back is essentially locked in. There's not really any cheating in this exercise. And again, I can go slow. You guys know I have to kind of go fast and kind of dig in the Total Gym too. I can go out here like a Y, down to like, I guess you can call this an I or a Y, whatever. But the same exercise, start to finish, just feels really good. I like kind of going face down sometimes because I feel like you get kind of a little more engaging. Sometimes I like to kind of do that a little more because I also feel like my, I don't want to say core, but buzzwords here, but yeah, you kind of feel like your core is a little engaged. I just kind of prefer it, but I'll mix and match a little bit. If I was doing one pullover versus another, I think the strict one for most people is probably the best one. But I also really like going face down because of other ways to really engage the lats, where I can kind of lean, again, you sit up or sit down, but I can really kind of swoop down if I focus, really thinking about my lats stretching and then contracting as I go through it. Also certainly cool, I know this is a minor point because everyone's gonna have this, but you can adjust this with one of these more expensive models to really hit different angles. But I think generally where it's at, I think is gonna work good for most people. The next general category I would say is the arms. I think this thing is a great arm machine. Now I got a lot of stuff right now that is hitting my arms in a great way, so I don't know how much I'll still be using this comparatively, but I would say it's hard to argue as far as I'm concerned. It's almost a guaranteed muscle pump, at least for me, for my biceps and triceps. Using a Total Gym, I just feel like it makes my arms grow pretty easily. That's for me. My favorite bicep, tricep exercises on here for biceps really is just the seated facing the tower, palms up, just doing a strict curl like this, not getting a whole lot of shoulders, but just the elbows contracting or flexing and then extending. I also like this because let's say I can engage a little bit of the back if I want to do some like forced reps, or just kind of vary the angle up a bit. I can lean back and do some other stuff. So it's really up to you. Many times though, when it starts to get towards the end of a set and want to get some kind of forced reps, I'll actually throw some back extension or a little bit of English in there to do some forced reps. I also really like this is one that I say is dangerous for a lot of people, so don't try it. People ask me, how do I do it? It's just practice, but don't do this unless you feel comfortable. Oh, chest presses there. It's muscle memory there. But I'll even sit like this. I love the way this feels. This kind of line of action and tension that I get in the biceps on this one is great. Obviously it's dangerous because especially make sure you have a closed grip like this, because if you were to let go, you're gonna eat it forward, especially if I go up like this. Sometimes I'll do this. Probably isn't necessary, but same thing. Sometimes I kind of like to do that, but I'm always leaning down. I'm not sitting up and doing this. This would feel kind of awkward and weird. I tilt my body forward and then I make that curl. But again, you gotta be super careful there. Since I'm in that point, the chest press. I know this is one some people like and dislike. I actually really like this. This probably won't be like a staple chest thing for me now that I got all this other stuff, but I will definitely be using these things for like warming up and just, I might get some forced working sets in here, but I actually really love how the basic chest press feels. I love how fluid this feels. To me, I think this is all just lines up perfectly. It's just a matter of kind of dialing down that mind muscle connection. Even these few sets I'm doing right now, I'm actually feeling it right in there. And this is one of those things, I haven't done this in a while on this particular one, so this actually feels good. I might do this later today. And then going back to arms in general, tricep extensions, I personally really like either just facing down, keeping the elbows locked in, full flexion at the elbow, full extension is great. But I think a really great, again, best in class exercise is if you're flat on the bench like this, because you really can't cheat anything here, elbows are locked in. I love how much range of motion you get here where it's flexed, triceps feel totally lengthened, and then full extension. I think this, even after just doing one rep like this, I can really feel. So this is another, in my opinion, kind of best in class arm exercise. And of course, there are many others, but finally, I would have to say the assisted pull-up. My buddy, Stevie Richards, who recently got a Total Gym, you'll see us talk about this in a future video. He said this is one of his kind of godsend exercises after coming back off of a big spinal infection. Of things he could actually do is that he could actually do pull-ups again. For many of you, I know this is actually true too, because pull-ups are one of those exercises a lot of people struggle with. They want to know how they can work on them. Of course, you can get things like an assisted pull-up machine. Not many people are gonna buy that in their home gym. Most people feel awkward kind of rigging up bands, especially if as you get a little older, you feel a little iffy kind of getting into that. But a Total Gym for assisted pull-ups not only is a great just pull-up option, but it's a tremendous back exercise that I think anyone who's ever used a Total Gym can attest to right away, that especially if you start going a little bit slower, you get the incline just right, this will fatigue pretty much anyone's lats. So excellent way to progressively work on pull-ups. And in my opinion, like I said before, When I was using these things exclusively for like 3 years, I didn't do any pull-ups, almost barely ever. I was just doing pull-ups, or you could say whatever, Total Gym version pull-ups on here. And when I jumped back onto the pull-up bar, it's like I never missed a beat. It felt exactly the same. If not, I'm still kind of progressing on those things. These are my kind of main top picks, guys. If you're looking as far as what are the best exercises in class, of course, you might be thinking, well, what about shoulders? What about legs? I think those things are all good. I just find that right now, at least for me, these are the ones that really kind of stand out, that I really wanted to highlight and plug based on the equipment that I kind of have here that I think makes this thing shine. I will say maybe a final note on that, the inverted shoulder presses on here, I think for a lot of people can be a godsend for their shoulders, having a hard time, especially in the home gym, finding things that work for their shoulders. But I would say in general, just lower the weight, lower the intensity for say things like dumbbells, find an angle that works for you, and I think that honestly would be fine, but shoulder presses are definitely up there here as well. If you guys have any questions, comments, feedback, let me know. Hopefully this was informative. If you guys want to see future stuff with a Total Gym or just want to see the home gym tour, like I said, let me know. I'll see you guys on the next video.